obviously we're covering some more USBM. Now, this time,
I am a robot. I am from the future.
Obviously you're not from the future. You're that nerd who has to read books all the time.
I know.
And don't you have a whole pile of books to read?
Yeah, you're right. But don't you have to do the Asian black metal videos?
But I have a whole bunch of albums to listen to first. I'm almost there.
Alright. I'll be back. I'll be back.
You know what? You get out of here. You let me finish this. Go back to reading. Sorry about that, guys. But without further ado, I'm going to go over top 6 oddball USBM from the 80s and 90s. Actually, I think that's a bit of a misnomer. It's only going to be from the 90s. That's when black metal really started to innovate. About midway through the decade, you start to see innovation in black metal pretty much all over the world. To the far-fetched avant-garde, to mixing industrial sounds, to, well, you know what? Wait and see. Check out the bands I have listed here, and hopefully you'll find something new that you can enjoy. The United States is a very large country, so these bands were spread out in the Northwest, Southeast, the Northeast. Surprisingly, a high percentage were found in the Midwest. Now, with this geographical isolation, you didn't have so much of the transference of members as you would see in the thrash metal and death metal communities. The black metal was not very well established by this point. While there were well over 100 bands producing black metal from the United States by the end of the 90s, there weren't a lot of scenes, so to speak. There was a upper Midwest one between Chicago and into Wisconsin and Michigan. There was some Floridian ones, and I believe a little bit later it moved to the Northwest, like San Francisco, Oregon, on up into Washington. It definitely helps. There was an established black metal scene in British Columbia. So there was a bit of an exchange there, but not too much. The bands that I'm going to describe today really don't fall into any of these scenes at all. They were very unique for what they did at the time, and they still stand out. Some of these releases really stand out as something odd and good at the same time. Black Mass of Absu. Not related to the Texas USBM band, fantastic one by the way, which recently reformed in some sort of oddball way. There was somebody who changed a little bit too much in the prior band, and so that band was dissolved, and now we have Proscriptors Absu. But anywho, this isn't about that band. This is about Black Mass of Absu from New York. The head guy behind it is Mr. Ski Mask. I do believe he has been revealed, but I prefer the less, the more obscure, the more hidden, the more, there's other words for it, esoteric look and stuff like that. So he's Mr. Ski Mask. This band released a demo in '95. That's the one I would recommend you check out, but they have released several albums in the 90s. I would describe them as a ritualistic mixed with noise and black metal, obviously. It's very enjoyable. Definitely look at that one. Amazon. I'll have the spelling down here, obviously. You know me and my pronunciation. This is a very odd tale. This was an industrial black metal band, which eventually melded with another band by the same name, which was not related. This other band was also industrial, but it was ritualistic industrial music, made industrial black metal bands already over in Europe by this time. There was a Norwegian one that's not coming to mind right now. I'll put it over here. And I believe in Italy also, by the end of the 90s, there was some industrial, so it's not extremely unique. But for the US, I would definitely recommend you give it a shot. This one comes highly recommended. Their 1998 release, Satan's Burial. It's grindcore mixed with black metal. So this is a precursor to bands like Ride for Revenge, maybe Tetragrammaton, but not so much. Ride for Revenge might be the closest that you could see this influencing. I don't know if they had a direct influence, but at least stylistically. It is some of the most intense black metal you will hear from the 90s. And I love it. Final three I'm going to recommend all stylistically have punk, some sort of punk music integrated, mixed in with their black metal. The first one I would recommend, and it's very good, Nema. They're a Detroit hardcore punk band which has a lot of black metal sound in their music as well. Bring Our Curses from 1998 is the one I would have you look at. Now, this is not a totally unique American combination, as there was an Australian band here regardless, and a link, because it is hands down fantastic. It's definitely one you want to check out, though. USBM band which, with the confluence of punk and black metal from the 90s, would be the Arizona band Suicide Nation. For All That Ever from 1999. It's a hardcore punk sound mixed with black metal. It's not as good as Nema nor the next one I'm going to recommend, but if you're into that combination, it's one of the earlier ones that did this, so check it out. By Teen Cthulhu. Cthulhu? Yes, you heard that right. Simple Elegance from 1999. it was more of a post-punk sound that they integrated with black metal. So this is very unique. I don't know if I've heard anything else like this album. I don't really think it would do it any justice if I talked about it anymore. You just need to hear it and check it out. Here because obviously I'm going to provide you with a bonus, as I'm a giving guy. Now, we have to remember there were not a lot of bands stylistically oddball black metal, especially from the US at this time. Black metal is a rather conservative genre, as many of its fans are, so when you change or put in these elements that go against what you're accustomed to, a lot of times you're met with derision from your fan base, and you may lose some fans. I saw this happen back in the 90s with like Godheimsguard, Covenant, a few others. So while the innovation you see in black metal today is fantastic and I love it, I don't care if you're putting in polka or any other kind of oddball music, I want to hear it. But back in the 90s, people weren't doing it so much. So this list is short, and I only have one bonus example for you. The band I would suggest you check out is Acid Enema. They are also an industrial black metal band who sounds similar to that Corazon, however you pronounce it. I believe it's a demon from one of those books from the 1600s or whatever. Acid Enema. Don't really have anything else for you right now. I am working on several other videos. I do hope to have the Asian one done soon. It's just a little bit more daunting. It's more time consuming than I thought. So I slapped this one together real quick. I hope it's good enough for you. And check out my other videos. I'm gonna put them in the links at the end. Thank you very much, and you know what? Make sure you exercise. Get in 20 minutes of exercise today. You'll feel better for it. I promise you that. Later.